examined the Nacella matrix recently? I noticed some unusual vibrations during the last flight.
Wani, there's no cause for concern. This is Char machinery. Besides, Kaylee keeps everything humming.
Don't say I didn't warn you. This ship would fall apart if I wasn't here to point out the deficiencies in design.
Don't say that where Kaylee can hear you. She'll have your ears if she hears you bashing this ship.
Don't get me started on that sentient ficus. Where you found her, I can't venture a guess. I'd feel much safer with an Asura engineer.
You have no faith, Wani. She's never done wrong by me or my ship. Let her do her job, and you just keep steering the ship.
Oh, I just had the disaster where I sit down, I play the game a ton with you guys, record a load of stuff, and then... Oh dear, I wasn't actually recording. Whoops. Alright, well, at least it was before we went past any unmakeable progress. Hello again, guys. We are here at Fort Trinity on Tyrix, looking like a badass. Very, very awesome. We have returned for the long slog into the final campaign of the game with ore, and we've got a lot of cool things we can do with our gear moving forwards. Of course, our objective now to meet Sire inside the cathedral, the Temple of the Forgotten God, which is going to be super cool for the lore and stuff. But yeah, as I've mentioned already, with that dungeon, the Citadel of Flame done, the Pact and the High Legion's massive victory against Geheran Balefire, we're mostly done with Ascalon here. For the core game, there is, of course, the fallout of our various dungeon escapades, such as Ascalon Catacombs and now COF as well, which are interesting, but there's not too much more to do at Ascalon right now, really. Slowly, they will do small updates to this region of the world, but it's kind of interesting to me in that after the expansions start coming out, and big expansions, you know, there'll be lots of stuff elsewhere. There's like a whole new maps, like when it comes to Kryta and the Shiver Peaks and the Tarnished Coast and near the Tarnished Coast. And as we go south and even Ore and stuff, there's like huge expansions everywhere. Ascalon has kind of got a real distinction of not really having any very major update. I mean, there will be some, definitely, but it's kind of funny in that way. So if you guys followed that story now, well done. You're at a point where you can pretty much talk openly about Geheran and what you think will go on with the Flame Legion in the future. There's a little bit more story in the fallout of the dungeon with the explorable modes, which hopefully we'll get to later. But yeah, for now, we have our final campaign to move forward through with the invasion of Ore. Let's talk about the gear a little bit. It's amazing, right? I really want you guys to have that impression that we haven't really had anything this flashy yet. You know, this was probably the flashiest gear in all of Guild Wars 2 at launch, by a long way, actually. Literally having the fire and stuff here. You got to remember that this franchise, especially with the original game, was very low-key with the armor, very realistic with the armor and stuff. And so to provide something like this that, you know, would appeal to, you know, your typical MMO person that just wanted to look like a flaming god, you kind of got it, right? And I, like many others, wanted to be that guy. I was really excited to do a lot of COF, and as I mentioned before as well, because the dungeon's a little bit easier than the others, you know, many of us ended up getting it. Unfortunately, very quickly after launch, the devs made all the rewards easy to get by nerfing the currencies and stuff, which I've always felt was a massive mistake, because it completely eliminated the prestige that would have come from this.
A risen shark forced us to abandon our exploration. Someone kill it!
Oh, an arisen shark. Maybe that'll be an adventure for another day. Thanks for telling us anyway, Lannis. But for a beautiful little while, you know, a month or so, it was very rare to see people in COF armor, and very badass to see people in COF armor. So, I do have a lot of new things to talk about in terms of the gear itself and the build. So, looking at our skills, there are a couple of new things that I want to show you. The last of the warrior skills all together. So, you guys hadn't seen the final stance. This is Berserker stance. So, I'll slot this on. You guys can see this. It's gain adrenaline for a short time and gain pulsing resistance. So resistance is good against Condi pressure, making it quite a defensive skill in some ways. But really, you get a ton of adrenaline. People forget about this. Look, look, look. We're not even in combat and we're like ready to eviscerate people. So way back at launch, the idea of running Frenzy and Berserk was kind of a fun idea. We'll maybe look at Berserker's stance a little bit deeper later on. We can slot Frenzy on, I guess. The other thing, though, is the last standard, the last banner. So you've seen all the other ones. Now, the other banners give you, like, raw stats, right? So the banner of defense gives us toughness and vitality. But this one, the war banner, gives us boons instead. Which in some ways makes it kind of worse. Because, like, this banner gives us flat power and flat condition damage, which is essentially the exact same thing as might. but might caps to 25, and this will sit on top of that cap. So this is kind of good even when you have 25 might, while this one, which only provides might, will always have an upper limit. So in a weird way, it's not as good for like the boons or whatever, for, you know, the passives you get from it. But it is a really cool skill. It's beautiful. One of my favorite ideas for an elite. You summon it down in a massive blast. Look at this. Whoa, it's got a huge cast time. We slam it into the ground. And yeah, it just constantly pulses, not just on us, everyone in the area. Fury, swiftness, might, and regeneration, because we're even traded for it right now. So the people who are under the effects of this just get really strong. Look, and it's got a really wide range as well. Even these NPCs over here, this Arcanist, is getting the benefit of it. The other super potent thing about it is it resurrects everyone where you summon it. So imagine we're in one of these big escorts, just like Bract was the other day, moving on up, marching our way towards Ore, and suddenly some horrible risen abomination destroys everyone. You can drop the battle standard, everybody stands back up, and they're super strong immediately to rip someone's face off. And it's just so gorgeous. Look at it. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. As a solo player, we're not going to get too much value out of it, and that's why I'm kind of showing it off pretty late here. But yeah, what a thrilling, thrilling thing. So we can plant it back down. It blasts and stuff. Really fantastic. So there's other stuff too that I want to show you guys. Obviously you can see I'm on Axe Shield here, and I've got a great sword. Mostly I'm running the shield because I think the shield looks really pretty, and I love running shields. But so we're all in Flame Legion stuff, and we're doing something pretty cool. Now that we're level 80, there is still a lot more stats we can get, and there's a lot more we can go for. It would just be about our gear now. Now, Guild Wars 2's never believed in particularly really long asking you for grind, so there is an upper limit that you can reach. But if we suggest we're back at launch right now, really the main thing that was happening was this. Everyone was hitting level 80 and getting the bulk of their strength, the vast majority of it. But your gear would be a bit all over the place. Gear can be upgraded in two ways. Number one, the rarity. So there's blue gear, green gear, rare gear, and exotic. I've decided to put us in rare gear here. Now, I'm not going so crazy that the entire game gets super trivial. We've only just hit level 80. It's not realistic to believe if this was launched, we'd all be in exotics immediately. And frankly, I don't want the game to get really poo and boring by being too easy. So we're going to be in rare stuff. But also, it's not just about rarity. It's also about level. So the gear you wear, if I kill, so what do we got near us? We got a Moa, right? He's level 71. Because, he's just a Moa. But let's say we crossed the water there. We started finding level 80 Risen. When I kill them, so when I killed this Moa with our Frenzy 100 blades, right? He has a chance of dropping something. Unfortunately, he didn't drop anything. It could be a material or just straight up gear. The gear he drops will be in a range of his levels. So I might only get I might get an exotic from him, which is like, whoa, that's amazing. But the exotic isn't level 80. So it's kind of a game of getting as much level 80 gear and exotic gear as possible. I am in level 74 gear here, all right? So we're not all the way up. So there's loads of stuff we can do now as we continue our adventure, killing things, and we've got a chance for better gear. Oh, is it going to be a rare? Is it going to be a higher level than what we've currently got? And we can continue upgrading. Lastly, as well, you're rolling on the type of stats you get. Do we get Berserker stuff? Do we get condition damage stuff? Do we get tanky stuff? And so there's a lot of thrilling things there that we still have to focus on and go for. So yeah, we don't have our accessories, as they would be quite hard to get at this point. I actually have a back piece from Citadel of Flame here. This is the charred back warmer. There's a really rare one as well you can get from the Citadel of Flame. Like a Geheron-based back piece, but it's super rare to get, and you can't trade it. It's like soulbound the second you pick it up. So I would love to have that, but we didn't get lucky enough. So yeah, I've also slotted in ruby crystals into this stuff. If you remember way back at the start, we put that pebble in. We're getting to the point now, really, realistically, when you have this kind of gear, you do want to start slotting those things in. And then also, we got runes and sigils. So this is really cool, guys. All right, bear with me. Alright, so there's some Risen around. We can demo it. First of all, the armor. We have Flame Legion armor, Flame Legion weapons, Flame Legion everything. How about Flame Legion runes? So, these are not actually the dungeon runes, by the way. The dungeon runes are slightly different. But these are really good runes, genuinely. Even today in 2018. So check it out. Power. 25 power, 50 power, 100 power. All on top of one another. A lot of strength from this. So that's great. We just do lots of damage. But then also look at these other perks we get. Burning duration. So if we ever burn someone, it will last longer. a chance to burn people when we get attacked. So even if we don't have any skills that apply burning, we'll still be able to inflict it. And lastly, we have another 20% burning duration on top and 7% increased damage against burning foes. So what this means is if we can burn them, all our regular attacks start doing more damage as well. Not just the burns, but everything. So these are really good. They just make us hit super hard. Excellent runes. And while the gear is rare and level 74, the runes that I put in are full exotics. So this should be tons of fun, and it's just perfect with the gear and stuff, right, guys? So you might be thinking, well, okay, WP, that's fine, but what burning do? You're a warrior. I haven't seen much burning. Well, there is some burning on warrior, and later in the expansions we'll get even more, believe me. There is some burning, and that's on a different weapon. So yes, I've got greatsword, axe shield here that I've been showing you. Look at that big meaty eviscerate. I did get one other weapon here, though. A Flame Legion Longbow. Yeah, look at this fiery bow. And this makes me so happy because the Char in Guild Wars 1 were all about, let's be real, burning and fire. And you looked at their rangers and they were able to do all kinds of cool stuff like that. I don't know what skill I want here. Let's go with Battle Roar. Yeah, awesome. So we get the 4 Great Justice and Battle Roar combo. But yeah, so we're going to be like a bit like a Guild Wars 1 Char here where we ignite our arrows and cause giant explosions and stuff. And that's what Warrior Longbow's like. Do you guys remember this? So the skill 2, we get the Fan of Flames. So this does good flat damage on the arrows as we fire and siege people with it, but also it's got lots of condition on it, so we can kind of get a good mix here where we get the value from our Flame Legion runes and do lots of damage. So here, for example, I can use a Fan of Flames on this guy that just crawled out of the water, and then use the skill 3, the Arcing Arrow, to do a giant explosion on him and, you know, get lots of damage. Or we can set him on fire, swap to our axe, and eviscerate him and get the benefits. So I really want to do this. We haven't seen Longbow or some other weapons for a while. I feel like it's time. So yeah, and as well, the other thing with Longbow is as we build our adrenaline up, remember the burst skill? We don't just have to use like Fan of Flames and stuff. We can arc a giant burst skill and just paint the entire ground with fire, swapping to our other weapon set, whether that be an axe or what, and just rip people to pieces while this is all still burning. So, yeah, that's the idea. I'm really, really, really thrilled with it. We'll go out into the water in just a second here, guys. And then lastly as well, we do have the weapons. So, sigils of accuracy on the axe. Really good sigil, just ups our crit chance. I've already talked a lot about why that's good. But check it out. On the shield, I have a sigil of undead slaying. Guys, you know what's coming here. Undead, undead, and lots more undead. Tons of different varieties. But, you know, those mowers we just killed and stuff, you can kind of say goodbye in a moment to most nice, natural, happy, level 70-odd creatures. Once we head out here, it's going to be a hell of a lot of Risen. And so, let's go prepared. I'm really excited about this too. We get the 7% damage from the runes, and then we get the extra damage from the sigil here on pretty much everything we fight now, because it's going to be undead in these final acts. That's what it's all about. We're focusing down here. And then, don't forget also, we got the potion before, the undead battle potions. So that's how we are built. Even our underwater stuff, look, accuracy and undead slaying. And yeah, we're ready. We're ready to take on Zaitan. This is genuinely what I intend to get through the end of the game with. And we'll just be watching to see what we can pick up from now on that will upgrade us. Cool, right? And yeah, just a bit behind the scenes. As much as I don't like talking about it too much, I'm trying to get us at a nice level here where we've got all this cool build craft and we can show off like all the ways that in Guild Wars 2 you can upgrade and do progression style stuff with your gear, but not power creep us to ridiculous levels where there's just nothing going on at all. In truth, a lot of the game's going to be, you know, as we've seen it so far. But there'll be challenges up ahead, and I want them to be interesting challenges. So we'll hit this nice level, right? And yeah, that's kind of the idea. So with all of that said and done, it's time to revisit the Temple of the Forgotten Gods with Sire. Oh god, we're getting attacked. Speaking of challenges, they're already hitting us quite hard. So we're going to be clear of those mines. And in we go. And oh my god, this is good. So let's just remember, the Orions, close to the gods, cared about them greatly, erected all these great temples. Then the gods went to war with one another. One of them disagreed with the others on whether the races of the world should have magic. Why did they have that disagreement? Who knows? But the other gods turned on the god of secrets and water, the god Abaddon, and cast him out. Banished him, tried to pretend like he never existed. His temple sunk to the depths. Ironically so, the Cathedral of Hidden Depths. He was the god of water, and once he was eliminated and removed from the picture, imprisoned in another realm altogether, this is what happened to his temple. Now, an undead dragon is looking for artifacts within. Why? We don't know.
I am here, Commander. Let us discuss the temple. In the name of the Concordat, I greet you, Commander. The way ahead is dark and uncompromising.
Exactly what I expect from the ancient temple of a dead god.
Yes, of course. The Risen have already bypassed the wards and breached the temple. We must exterminate them. Be warned, there are dangers here not of the dragon. Powers ancient and unseen still occupy these halls. Lead, Commander. I will follow.
This is just about the coolest way that they could introduce us to Ore. Like, Abaddon is such a badass and interesting one of the gods. And, like, to have this as the introductory arc and remind people of all that old juicy stuff. I love that line there. There's stuff, you know, older and dangerous. It's not just the dangers of the dragon. Oh, it's so good. Because I know what you're wondering. How do the gods compare to the dragons in, like, strength and stuff? Well, that's the thing that the game may flirt with a bit. So, hey, Sire, you still scare me a little bit. But not so much Tyrix, actually, I would say. The artifact we seek will be at the top of the temple. We must ascend carefully. So, yeah, we're going to the top of the temple. We're underwater. Now, as I mentioned recently with the Ton arc, one thing that Guild Wars 2 is incapable of doing is having pockets of air underwater. But they managed to get around that in this instance, because what we've done now is we've loaded into a super special area. We're inside the temple, but it's like this big different place where there is actually air pockets here. So we get to spelunk, and despite the fact we're still down, you know, in the Strait of Malkor, the unending ocean, the whatever, the Strait of Malediction as this is actually called, even though we're super deep underwater, we might find air pockets that we can wander around in the real temple here. It is an underwater heavy instance though. Okay, I have a question before we proceed. If you ask and do it quickly. Sorry, look, I don't do things very quick around here. I don't know if you've noticed, Sire. What is this place? This is the ancient temple of Abaddon, built before the gods made war on each other and Abaddon was cast out. There is still potent magic here, so we must tread lightly. I love how she knows all these details, because listen, in Guild Wars 1, we had nothing. This is a new race for the sequel. We had nothing about the Lagos. We saw nothing of the Lagos. The thoughts that they were there all along, just stalking the depths, understanding human affairs and what was going on. I mean, the gods, are they just human affairs? Maybe it's not fair. Maybe just the humans are the only ones that still revere them as much. We did get the impression there that the gods, Abaddon, gave the magic to all the races, right? How do we get through all these closed doors? Abaddon's faithful did so at will, so there must be a way. We simply have to discover it. For every door, there is a key. Or at least an opening we can exploit. Alright, let's press on. So the idea is, I mean, we're doing, it's such a cool mix, guys, because we're doing like a temple.
Raise your weapon and fight.
Alright, here we go. So it's a cool mix because there's lots of fighting against dangerous undead. Oh god, I just accidentally warbannered. I did that wrong. Oh well, that's fine. Let's use our 5. Oh my god, stack the damage up with our frenzy, get our banners down. They are bleeding us, but as long as we gain might, we should be able to regen. Oh my god, and we blew them up. That's awesome. And then there's a crab here too. It's such a cool mix because you get all this cool fighting mixed with actual intrigue and puzzles and new areas to go. This has got to be one of my favorite instances.
Reactivated the temple defenses. It may slow us down. However, they did find the altar. We can do the same.
Right, so, and do not underestimate Zaitan's intelligence. That's the big thing, right? We see that now. We've seen it with the Mesmers. We've seen it all over. He knows what he's doing. He can direct these things to actually intelligently penetrate these temples' defenses as much as we can. So, well, what do we got? A room full of horrible stuff. A sea scorpion over here. Let's take this out first. So, spear gun, remember the 5 knocks back really far. I must admit, one of the places I'm not very good at in the game is remembering what all of the underwater skills do of all of the classes. So it's kind of cool to play this with you all and remind myself. The 5, Tsunami Slash, is so cool. One of the coolest underwater abilities in the game. The Adrenaline is a little bit like an Eviscerate, I guess, but in that it's a big hit, but really it's a big stunner. And the F1 on the spear gun is just like kill shot above ground as well. So we can push away with the 5, build Adrenaline, and then go heavy on him. So let's knock him out, do some damage. Here we get a split shot. That we could use as like a shotgun attack. Want to be careful of the...
I've been waiting for you.
Oh, have you? I mean, her combat dialogue's so cool as well. What we can do is try to keep away from the sharks because they'll charge us and do nasty things. So, what have we got?
A most interesting shrine. What is its purpose?
Yeah, I don't know. An Abaddon shrine, as you guys can see here. Actually inscribed with mysterious runes and things. Not sure if it's translatable or ever has been translated. Curious. We press F on it. And Sire says the shrine features a switch and an inscription. Only the worthy may seek Abaddon. If you would proceed, prepare to be tested. Huh. Okay, activate the switch. Uh-oh, that doesn't sound good. Oh, what do we have? A devoted of the deeps who bows to us and then gets PO'd. So here we go. We get a mini-boss. This is a veteran. You can see it's put Frost Aura on itself. It reduces the damage it takes. It will chill us if we attack it. It's regenerating. So this is the first, and it's really not that dangerous. A little bit more defensively oriented, but kind of tanky at the same time. So, yeah, let's shoot him with the spear gun. We'll move in. Now, here you'll see, and I really want to be very cautious about talking to you guys about this. You'll see that they're doing kind of Lissa-y style animations and mesmery things. This ability here is called Portal of Abaddon. Look how cool that is. But it's kind of reminiscent of Lissa, and I wonder what's going on there. But they all have really special kind of sounding skills, which I want to show you in the combat log. Because that's something kind of special about Guild Wars I haven't shown you much. But enemies are using real skills, and sometimes they get skills the players can never have, such as this priest. So this is a devoted of the deeps, and they've all got such cool titles and names, guys. So, well, there you go. We defeated it. It bows.
There by the shrine. That might be it.
Remerges with the shrine and becomes an illusory essence.
You should test such a theory with that essence. See if it can be placed somewhere useful.
So because we're carrying this, we cannot go any further with the war banner. So we'll drop that and we'll change our elite skill. Or the other banner, sorry, the banner of strength. But yeah, so it's interesting because this is the god of secrets and water. And you're going to see a lot of like mesmery stuff and illusory stuff, which in truth is associated with a completely different god, the goddess Lissa. Now here's what's even weirder. Once Abaddon was cast out and Cormyr rose to take his place in the Pantheon eventually 250 years ago, between Guild Wars 1 and 2, guess who the new god of water is? It's Lissa. So I wonder what that's all about. Like, the thing we're holding here is very mesmery. It looks like a focus that is mesmery themed, the anomaly. And, you know, it's called illusory essence. We get all these weird kind of skills with it. Hopefully we can use. But what happens if we take it over to this orb? The inscription on the shrine reads, "Only those who have completed the test may proceed. Place the proof of your victory here and enter. Place the illusory essence."
Look, the currents shift. The ocean's flow changes. These shrines and orbs must be how we gain entry.
I love that. I love that as an underwater aquatic race, she kind of has the sense for the fear. You know, a door opens and she can feel the flow of the waters in the areas different. I mean, if we ever get a much bigger spotlight on the Lagos, it would be so cool to see how the devs tie into that, you know, with like maybe even an underwater expansion and stuff, and express that like aspect of their physiology. So yeah, coming back into the main chamber. Antechamber, would that be the right word for this? We can swim on up now, and you'll see this door's open. Well, we get more risen. Can I please get my signet on this time? Good, okay. So more risen. Maybe I shouldn't activate that, by the way. I should probably hold it for the adrenaline. So let's take him out. Get a triple interrupt there. Pretty happy with that.
Your respite will be brief.
Sire totally messing these guys up. Each door we open and each stair we climb brings us closer to the altar of secrets and our goal. Brilliant. And you'll notice this here. Do you understand how to open the doors? I think she's actually updated this. She says, we say, do you understand how to open them? She says, I believe so. We activate the shrines, which raises spirits of Abaddon's faithful. Kill them, collect their essence, and bring it to the sacred orbs. The orbs accept them, and the doors open. All right, let's go. What a great start to the final chapter, right, guys? So yeah, as we swim up here, I do want to show you. A lot of players miss out on this. It's pretty goddamn badass. Here you go. Look, it's an air pocket. Really exciting. And I love that the devs do this. Whenever in an RPG or even just an adventure game I have this experience. Right here, look, we want to get up here. And Sire can even teleport up because of the game mechanics. Our mini's up there as well. But it's designed so that we, no matter how much we jump, we can't quite get out, guys. You just can't make it. But the idea is to be there. But look, you've got all these closed doors. There's a rock there, so we know we can get there. There are some risen ambling around. Hylic, we know we don't like those. And looking up even more, look, that's a statue, guys. A statue of Abaddon. Ah, it's so cool. It's one of the most brilliant, like, rare assets. You won't find this anywhere else in the game at launch. it was hidden in here. And look, there seems to be some kind of platform up there. Is Abaddon managed to get to the top already? Well, we'd best hurry, hey. So, yeah, we did manage to open this door here. Well, check it out. We get another temple orb. This shrine is identical to the previous one, with the same inscription. Only those who have completed the test may proceed. Place the proof of your victory here and enter. So, another thing with this instance, as before we explore down there, you'll see there's some mines, is there are Orient chests. Remember what I mentioned to you guys about how they had a whole idea for a system of environmental weapons where as you're fighting, chairs break and walls break and you can collect stones and planks and things and they augment your abilities and it's sort of about reacting emergently? Well, this instance really plays into that. I guess it was made around the time that the devs were really experimenting with what they could do. And so, yeah, there's actually stuff you can pick up all over the place. You can open this chest, but it's not like a chest that gives us inventory loot. It's a chest that gives us environmental weapons. See, look at this. We pick up the Ancient Trident. And now, instead of my regular weapon, I've got the Ancient Trident here. It's all watery and glowing and odd. And we get a thing here. Water missile. Fire a slow-moving homing missile. Here, there's an ancient elixir on the floor. And you can decide which of them you want to claim. So check it out. We can throw out there and just immediately nuke that mine. Or we could blow up a single target enemy that we find in the other area. Which is great. So the mines I'm scared of. So let's swap to spear gun and blow these up. And again, it's cool, but the devs never really did a balance pass on environmental objects. So usually players just zerg past and don't really pay attention.
I've been waiting for you.
Oh god, she's so creepy. So don't let me give you the impression we'll use a ton of them in here. I just want to show off that it's a part of the instance. And more than many personal story instances, you get a lot of environmental weapons here. Look, like there's an ancient cudgel. And you might wonder what the elixir does, where you can have fun checking out. So here we have weakness, so I don't want to use our kill shot because it won't ever crit while we have weakness. Or it can crit, but very low chance. So I'll wait a bit and then do it later. And there you go, we hit this noble with it. Oh, amazing. Look how he evaded the tsunami slash. That was awesome. All right, so good. He goes down. What do we get here? Like a coral shard. Throw coral shard. Does loads of bleed. Vulnerability. Look at this. Look how creepy some of the stuff underwater is. Oh, my God. Okay, and more of that flavor of, oh, hey, what's ore when it was underwater like? Shrine's identical, so let's activate the switch. So last time we had the Devoted of the Deeps. Now look, a straight up Devoted of Illusions. A noble that bows to us. Why is it also Lissa oriented? I'm sure that this is the devs hinting at something here. I really, really, really am, I must say. So there we're in his Abaddon portal. And what I did was I used my parry to block one and then immediately smack him in the face, which does a lot of damage. So yeah, we can do this. Back to the spear gun, push him away. Okay, so there by pushing him away, I've pushed him into the wall, which often happens with underwater content, which kind of sucks. Luckily, Sire can swim through with him and still blow him up. Oh god, this is pretty bad though. Hopefully she'll be able to finish him off. It wouldn't be Guild Wars 2 underwater content without showing off the most famous of bugs, pushing stuff into walls. All right, there we go. It appears defeated in the wall. Oh, there you go. And it put the essence down here. All right. It worked. She managed to deal with it. Oh, okay. And yeah, here's the problem. Once you clear that, this is cool what the devs do here. They flood the corridor that you were just in with more Zaitan minions. And you might think, well, hold on, but it was empty a second ago. I like the idea that Zaitan knows we're here and he's like sending troops in to follow us. It's so badass. So yeah, you got to be really careful. Always watch your back in this because there will be sharks and things that get thrown at you out of nowhere. You know, they're very directed, very targeted. It's just something really cool. This is exactly the kind of like temple exploration I enjoy. A bit of backtracking and previous rooms now feel different because there's new creatures and stuff in there. Yeah.
One less barrier.
One less barrier indeed, says Sire. And as we come through, we now realize another door would have opened. Which door might it be? Well, it was this one, which was closed a second ago. Any of you eagle-eyed watching might have noticed that. So you can come on in. Wait. Oh, no, this is just the other side of the room. Oh, I see. Once we open it up, that just comes on. So that door opens. That's cool. Here you go. And here, there's a sneaky little passage around in this corner. You notice there's one there too, which will never actually open on the left. But it hints at, like, even more depths. And as I said, more monsters. We're in the main chamber right now, and more stuff's come out. Maybe these guys swam out, actually, out of that tunnel there, though. Yeah, I like how they hint at that this is quite a big complex, and we don't even get to go to the whole thing. It makes it feel a lot more immersive to me that they do that. Let's knock that back. And then there's Frenzy, F1. Beauty. All right. Take our banner along and into the most narrow corridor so far. More risen mines. Let's shoot these and blow these up. Don't want to get clipped by them. And what do we have? Air. Sweet. Breathable air. We can take our rebreather off. Actually, I don't think I have one equipped. And we can fight the undead up here. This is great. So, let's get our potion on, shall we? We've even got our elemental powder in case things get really dangerous. But yeah, we get back to our regular skills now. And we get to get out of the depths. Does Saya have more dialogue, maybe? Each door we open gets us closer. No, she doesn't. All right, so what we got? Well, another Abaddon shrine. I love this kind of weird, eerie glow. This reminds me a lot of Test 4 Oblivion, where you go into, like, alien ruins. And the reason that they're lit up is just because of, like, the old magical artifacts there. As they've, you know, they've left, but the magic still lingers in their place. Like, look at it. It's exactly the same color as that kind of stuff. So awesome. So we'll pull this through. Probably doesn't help that it's Jeremy Soule doing the soundtrack for both franchises and games there. So above ground, we still have the banner as our thing, but I'm not going to worry about using it. Let's get the burning on them. Shield bash. Oh, I threw my axe and missed there. It went the wrong way.
Your respite will be brief.
And well, what we got? Well, we know that we need to go to the shrine first. So let's deal with that. We've got an Orion chest here as well as we climb up. Again, we'll get some kind of benefit that we can use. Oh, I was going to pick up that elixir. Oh, this time I just accidentally picked it up instantly. I think we got a branch out of it. Branch leap. So this actually we can charge with. And then we can slap someone and knock them down. So this one is the Abaddon Shrine again. Prepare to be challenged. What comes out of it? The Devoted of Nightmares. Now that's sounding a bit more Abaddon-esque, isn't it? Nightmares. But again, still quite Lyssa-esque too, because dreams, right? So there you go. You get the branch. You can jump. You can leap at someone. Clonk them on the head. Now that we're above ground, we should hopefully be able to do a bit more damage. We can go through our bow skills. And so here you'll see that they've got like new Chaos Storm stuff now, right? And their abilities are a lot stronger. They can fear us. They can move us away. In fact, I got totally thrown off the platform. At least Saya's here to take the brunt of the damage. We can blow these up. Another field. Use our arcing shot, the big explosion. Look at that. That's 3k damage. That's pretty goddamn good. And, you know, our underwater kill shot was only doing 4. And this is AoE as well. This hits in the whole area. So, yeah, there you go. We take out Nightmares. Another hint at another doorway. Like this once upon a time was a bridge that would actually climb across and you'd go through there. But no, we'll carry it. And so, yeah, you do get abilities here, right? And you can spam these. I'll show you what these look like. So, the auto, lightning whip, a bit like Ellie's get to use. The 2 is a pushback shield, static shove, create a dome around you that knocks back and absorbs projectiles. Very Guardian-esque. The 3 is a charge in that then stuns people, a bit like shield bashing. The 4 is an energy surge where we charge up and then do a big explosion on someone. Energy surge being a Mesmer Lyssa elite in the first game. And then finally the 5 is energy defense. We grant ourselves protection and retaliation, as you can see there. Which, again, could have been one of the original energy skills that they were developing in Guild Wars 2. So there you go. Anyway, we got the orb. We'll place it down here.
Excellent progress.
The door opens. This is that eerie, like, ring noise. Oh, it's so cool. Here we go. So an ancient elixir. Are you guys curious what this does? I love these things. So you can get these, like, as hero drinks from pirates and stuff sometimes in the right areas of the game. Drink. You become invulnerable. Check it out. So we get this buff. We also become drunk. And look at all these hits that the Hylek are using on us. We're totally invulnerable to them. And when I say invulnerable, it's not like Endure Pain where they can still put conditions on us and then we'll still get in combat. We literally won't even flinch. We won't react at all to being attacked. So we can drink that right before them as they come in with their nasty Hylek bursts and blow them up. There's the rock mouth, and look, now we're above the water we were looking at before. The door's open. Remember the rock we saw? There's the rock. And even this door's open now as well as we move through the Hylek.
2 shrines. We must be close to the Altar of Secrets, the center of the temple.
Yeah, we have been climbing quite high, haven't we, Sire, actually? So, this one's a little bit of a twist in that it's 2 shrines and 2 orbs. You can choose to do them both at once if you want. I'm going to just do one at a time. So, the Devoted of Lies. Remember, this was the God of Secrets, and the idea being that he knew things that he wouldn't tell anyone else, that he would lie about it and whatnot. But lying, again, is another Lyssa feeling thing, you know, and deception and illusion. Like, come on. There's too much crossover, guys. So lies, and again, I really appreciate and love how every single one of these guys has got a different, like, name. It's not the same boss every time. You get a different nameplate, and the ones underwater fight differently to the ones above water. Really cool. I mean, could have been way cooler, obviously, but hey, there you go. So anyway, we defeat that one, and while it's bowing and generating an essence for us, we can hit this switch too. So lies and secrets we get here. Bring it on. Let's throw a coral shard. Yeah, and so we put the 6 bleed up there. We could be on other classes. You might have a build where you do extra damage on bleed, you know, like our runes here is damage on burn, but that would be another way to be able to trigger our runes, even if we didn't have the longbow equipped, or, you know, any of the other relevant stuff on the class. So yeah, we'll take this out.
Your respite will be brief.
Beautiful. And they bow. Let's grab this essence here, actually. Place this in. This shrine is paired with the other one on the other side of the door. It bears the inscription, only those who have done the test can proceed. I wonder if the devs had an idea to make this a bit bigger, because there is this closed door here as well. Once upon a time, maybe you went down and then there was like a fork in the road and you had 2 very distinct things, but maybe they ran out of time and they just put them both next to the door. It's a slight twist on the format anyway, at least.
The altar should be in the next chamber. Be cautious.
Ooh, the final altar in this chamber? I'm feeling cautious, sire. Okay, so let's do it. Oh, another chest. Let's grab this. Get some kind of benefit for us. An ancient cursed skull. This is great. Look at it. We're actually holding a skull. Look at that. So here we get skull fear, which is like fear me. You know, this mechanic for fearing. So the closer we are to the target, the further, the more scared they get. So we can actually run both. Do you guys want to try? So we can use the skull fear to make them run really far away, and then fear me as well at the same time, and just stack like an obscene amount of the condi on them.
Something's wrong. We must be swift.
Something's wrong. I mean, it is pretty dead and empty. Doesn't that just mean that we're here first? Surely, no? I take it back.
Intruders, you trespass on the dragon's lands. You too will serve Zaitan.
No, slave creature. We serve our oaths, and those oaths demand your
So be it. To death and beyond.
What are those things? We've never seen anything like that. A mouth of Zaitan, an eye of Zaitan.
Zaitan demands your death.
And they just teleported off, so we got a glimpse at them. Oh god, what was that? And then finally here, Risen General Azul Din, so another Orion. Hey, sire, you want to fight here? Time to fight, Commander. I know. She has a swiftness buff on her. That's kind of cool. So here, let's use our double fear to break his break bar, so he won't actually run off, but we can break. Look at this fear duration. Look at this. It keeps going all the way. Oh, we almost got the whole break bar down. Let's shield bash him at the end there to finish it off. That's awesome. 2 very creepy Orion monsters. Now, we are at the start of the final arc, what the devs are doing here.
Stupid creature, die, and the dragon will take you.
I like how he calls us a stupid creature because we are a char. What they're doing here is they are showing us some of the big plots that will be coming up later. So, this boss is kind of cool. What he does below 50% health is he starts summoning these grubs. Grave spawn grubs, a special type of grub you only find here. And they really hurt. But what's very cool about running Longbow is we can incinerate them all in a massive AoE.
The dragon is angry.
The dragon's angry, eh? Oh my god. I feel so bad about what happened to the humans here. I'm sure Tyrix doesn't feel bad, but I feel bad. So yeah, we could use our Longbow burst to just melt them all down while continuing to beat this guy. Every time he speaks, he gets more stuff. So he's got Prot on him, he's got Swiftness on him, he's got Might on him now, he's got Fury. He gets stronger and stronger as it continues to go along. And what you gotta do is try and keep the grubs down and him at the same time. Very cool idea for a fight.
Your respite will be brief. The dragon roars in fear. These ancient foundations will not withstand the sound. Escape quickly, before we are buried forever.
So yeah, did you guys just see the screen shake? I think the idea is Zaitan's supposed to roar there. You don't quite get to see it, but I've always liked the idea. At least we saw it shake, you know. You just don't get to hear the dragon roar at the same time. I was actually looking into data mining to see whether there was a roar and they just play it at too low a volume, and I would have edited it in for you, but unfortunately it's not possible. So yeah, and then what else is epic about spelunking adventures? Look, they actually closed the door off behind us with this rock wall, and the devs really didn't have to go to that effort, but I appreciate that. I think it was pretty cool. And we're forced to flee this fight, this like epic conclusion to this battle, to this instance, right? If this was a big dangerous boss. Looking over Abaddon, looking at you in the room, their ideas are so cool. Look at how brilliant the thought is behind the missions. It's just that they didn't really make the fights they needed to be. But yeah, and then everything starts getting destroyed and we got to run away, so we jump down. If you miss, you can hurt yourself there. And look, we plummet immediately into the pool. The Sire doesn't even wait for us. And we swim on out, having plundered the place. Well, sort of, actually. We didn't get any artifact, did we? We just saw Zaitan's high-level minions there, the likes of which we've never seen, who they seem to claim it. Oh dear, is that bad?
Well fought and well won. Most impressive, my ally.
It was victory, but we still lost the artifact.
True, but we've made a dragon no fear. That, Commander, is a victory to relish.
Maybe we can still salvage this. What do you know about that creature we faced?
I do not know for certain. What is certain is that you've just encountered two of Zaitan's most powerful servants, and that they escaped your grasp.
Not for long. I'm reporting to Traherne right away. We'll see if we can't organize a pursuit.
I will also carry this news when I return to be freed from my oath. May your steps be relentless, Hunter.
And yours too, Sire. And yours too.
Relentless, Commander. I shall carry word to Traherne.
Oh, she TPs. I love how her dialogue cuts out actually in the middle of that. So there you go, guys. A little taste of Abaddon and some of the bigger, deeper stories going on there. Big ticket item. We've just learned about some new stuff that Zaitan does. Now that we're closer to home, maybe we'll learn a bit more just about how he operates and some of his high-level minions. So it's time to return to Traherne, and that really will be the catalyst and one of the main struggles through this final arc and the invasion itself. I'll see you guys there for more of Chapter 7 next time. Thanks very much for watching.
I want to stand on a mountain of corpses.
Finally, a Norn who's fighting for something I can